Hello everyone, my name is Tlopfest and welcome back to another video today. Today I am deciding to make another mod showcase, as I just said. Sorry, a little redundant. Anyways, this is over my favorite magic mod called Oz Magica 2. Sorry about the coughing, coming down with a little bit of something. Anyways, also sorry about not posting a lot recently. Just been busy with, well, life. But anyways, so in this mod showcase, there's a lot of stuff I'll be going over. However, I will unfortunately not be able to go over recipes due to there being a lot of different things. May not be able to cover everything. So, again, sorry about that. But anyways, yeah, I'll be showing some of the basic mechanics and some of the main things that you can actually do with this mod. So, if you like this video, please leave a like. Let me know in the comments if there's anything else I can do that improve. And subscribe if you feel like it. Golly. Alright. So, let's get started. So, first things first. When you jump into a new world, you're going to need to find some stuff called liquid Ethereum, which is under here. No, it does not exactly spawn around these things, which are witchwood trees. However, you'll need it in order to grow these. And I'll get to that later. But basically, when you find a pool of these, they can get into like 2x2 to a huge lake, depending on where you are. You'll need to have a book and an item frame. Basically, place the book in an item frame near it, and you can see all these particles start flowing into the book. And honestly, the more Ethereum there is nearby, the faster this will go. But basically, when it is done, hold on. Let's see if I can speed this up. And there's a bunch of lag. Shoot. There we go. There, it should speed up significantly. There we go. So when it's done, it'll have a bright light, and you'll get your compendium. And then in the chat, it will say you will have unlocked the secrets of the arcane. Unfortunately, I did that earlier, so I can't really show you that to you now. And yeah, this is your ticket to becoming the ultimate mage in all the lands. So once you've got that, I recommend finding a witchwood tree. They're not particularly hard to find. If you just wander around your world a little bit, you should come across one or two. But if you have Tinker's Construct, something like that installed, I recommend you do not use your axes, the axe of them on them. For some reason, it takes longer instead of shorter than mining with your hand. Jeez. But anyways, you'll need that in order to make some of the newer items, like these crafting utensils, which again I'll get to later. And also, you want to find a bunch of these things so you can get which can be really useful for some of your latest spells. But enough about that. Let's get on to this. So what you need after you find your witchwood tree and you get your compendium and all that, you'll want to find Vintium. Spawns underground in caves. It's just kind of uncommon. But when you want to get like 1 to 4, I think. Shimmerite, a little more common than this. again, 1 to 4. You only need all 3 of these, and the topaz as well. 1 to 4, I think. You'll need all 3 of these in order to make some of the items in this mod, as well as for recipes. And then these are for near the end items. So moonstone, you can't find naturally, quote unquote naturally, in your world. Instead, it will actually fall from the sky when you're a little higher level instead of just 1. Like this blue one right here. Excuse me. That is your mage level. The higher it is, the more mana you have, and the more burnout buffer you will have. So basically, the way these spells work, actually, I'll get back to that later. Sorry, digressing. Anyways, the problem in the sky, make small explosion. You'll get a few of these and get like 1 to 4. And then the sunstones. Now these spawn in lava. Like if you get a large lava pool, you're more likely to find it. But your best chance to find these things is to go to the Nether, since there's tons of lava there. But they'll spawn on the surface of it, and when you find these, I recommend you build around it, because if you break it now, 9 times out of 10 it'll fall into the lava and you'll lose it, which of course is not good. Ugh. Alright. Next thing then. So what you want to do oh man. Sorry. Anyways, what you want to do next is create this, the Oculus. Now this I will show you because this is really important. So you'll need 2 coal, 3 stone bricks, a piece of glass, and a blue topaz. And basically, this is your ticket to finding out your different parts of your spell components. So when you right-click this, you'll be given these 3 tabs right here: offensive, defense, and utility, as well as an affinity. And you'll also see these blue, green, and red numbers. These are your points. Now, let's say I was in game mode 0, like you probably would be. If I can type. So basically, again, as I said, these are your points for spending. And when you hover over something, you will typically see the name of it as well as the color. The color is the corresponding type of point that you will need to unlock it. So when you first start, I always recommend just go for projectile and force damage at least, because that will get you started and being able to attack stuff. And later on, you will want to go to defense. That's how you can get more shapes and other components. And utility, very useful for like mining and stuff when you get to this. So now you've made your first thing, a projectile force damage thing. So what now? Next thing you do, you make the inscription table. And again, important thing. So 3 slabs, 2 planks, feather, torch, and spell parchment, which is easily just 2 sticks and a piece of paper. Not that bad to bake. So once you got this, oh, whoops, wrong thing. You will be met with these. Now, since I'm in creative, everything is already unlocked. However, as you saw in survival, not everything's pretty much locked, and you have to unlock them bit by bit. So you will only see the unlocked parts up here in this gray area. So then, how do you make a spell? Well, let's say you have your force damage. So what you need to do, you need to take a shape, like your projectile, drag it into this box here. Also, when you first create this, only these first 2 brown boxes will be unlocked. You'll need to upgrade it using upgrade components to unlock these last 3. And I'll show you what they do later. But anyways, you got your projectile, and you have your force damage. Okay? So, then what? You take a book and quill, toss it in here, and then just name what you want. Like, force projectile. And there you go. You've got your first spell. So, if you're an early game, I recommend that you just go for something like this. This is your crafting altar. You can find the structure in the compendium under structures. And as I said, this thing is basically your gateway to finding out every single part that you need for this. It will give you for spell, how the UI works, all that. So the crafting altar. As I said, this is your main thing that you'll need. This is your main thing that you'll need to create spells. So if you're in early game and if you somehow haven't found a witchwood tree, then just grab some of your oak, toss it together in this formation. 3 oak up in 5x5 area, middle taken out. And under stairs, 3 stairs there, 3 stairs there, stair there, normal blocks, and then just some glass. This will only allow you up to like 2 components if I remember correctly. And then afterwards, you will need to get a lectern and the lever. Oh, you can actually see one of these altars in action. And I'll explain how exactly they work in a little bit. And then these magic balls here. You can find all of these crafting recipes in here. So what you need to do, this is normal stone. Ignore the magical fortified stone. That's another mod. Anyways. So once you got this, you toss your book on here. And if you haven't unlocked it yet, it'll pop up as you saw up there that a new thing will have unlocked. And it'll basically all these things that have blue exclamation points means you have not read it yet and are probably new. Okay, these bats are getting annoying. Anyhow, also, here is an important thing to note. When using these, there's the possibility, especially if it's a low tier like this one, there's the possibility that the book will look red. If this happens, do not, I repeat, do not try to attempt to create the spell. If you do, the altar will blow up, and you will pretty much lose everything. So, be on the lookout for how the book looks. If it looks like this, you're good to go. Otherwise, take it off and either upgrade the altar or reevaluate your spell. Because also, there is actually a cap for how many of these things you can have in at once for one spell. And that cap is 13. When it reaches 13, you cannot do it, even at the highest tier, which is this one. And that bat is gonna have... Okay, well I guess I'll have to show you one of my spells I pre-created. Because when you're in creative mode, you can actually use a make spell thing. And make things a lot easier. And this stupid bat is gonna blag me out until I kill it. Sorry, give me a sec. Get out of here, bat. Die. Come on. Finally. Stupid thing. Okay. Now that we're back on top, you can actually see how that worked. Basically, you right click with the spell, it casts it. And this is the force projectile in its full form. Now, to actually make this, what you can do is right click on here and it'll open up the book and allow you to look at what you will need. So you'll need a blank rune, phantom dust, arrow, snowball, red rune, iron sword, and spell parchment. Every single spell will start with a blank rune and then end with the spell parchment. Oh, and also, actually I forgot to mention, this thing, the crafting altar, this is your indicator as to whether or not you built it right. If you built it right, it will actually camouflage into the surrounding kinds of blocks. If not, it'll stay like this. So, keep that in mind. So anyhow, let's go ahead and get started on this. So, we need a blank rune. So you just toss them in, and then it will show up as to what you need next. So we need a piece of ventum, an arrow, snowball, a red rune, iron sword, and then the spell parchment. It will then toss it up on here and do that little sound, as you hopefully heard. So then when you first right click it, or when you first get it, it'll say unnamed spell. When you first right click it, you will be able to name it. You can use this to randomize the name. And then you can choose an image. So like this one, if you really wanted it. And it can be really useful for organizing things later. And as you see, it's just tossing it around. And one thing to note, you will not just excuse me. You will not just get experience by just tossing this around, everywhere. You'll actually have to use it. It's like, since this is an offensive thing, you'll only get experience if it actually hits something. Like this sheep. If I can actually aim correctly. Come on. Sheesh. So, yeah, as you see there, it also pop up a little bit. So, yeah, that's how you, that's basically how you create a spell. Now, this is the highest here. We can make all 13, make use of all 13 components. Now, also, these things actually require Ethereum, the fuel source of this mod. In order to get that, you either will need to... The first way you'll want to do it is by getting this, the obelisk. Making crafting recipe, and then you right click on it, and it's like a furnace. So you toss in either a piece of ventum dust or a bucket of Ethereum, and it will start to burn. Well, cook, I suppose. Come on, you stupid bat. Dude. Okay, this thing's gonna lag me out again. Stupid bat. Okay. So, back to what I was saying. So once you have one of these, you'll need a crystal wrench, and you'll need to make sure that it's purple on the tip. When it's red, it will disconnect them. So right click on this, it'll then store this item in the tip. Then right click on here. Oh, whoops. Wait, no path? Really? Okay, well if that happens, then either you're doing something wrong, or they got too far apart. Because this thing only has a range of 10 blocks. And I think it's too far apart. So what you need to do is get this Ethereum conduct. really easy to make. I think it's just a topaz and a piece of stone, right? No, it's some stone and shimmerite. My bad. Maybe you toss this down nearby. Connect that to here. And then head back to here. And hit that. And then it will connect. When it says pairing successful, it will mean that Ethereum that is generated in this will start to be transferred over to here, which you will need in order to actually, for some of your latest spells. And when it does ask for it, it will actually just come up as a weird animated plasma-like thing. So when that happens, you will need to flick this lever, and then the Ethereum it needs will be sucked out of here and into your crafting thing. So speaking of this, there are actually 2 more rituals I can do. They will either be unlocked later in here, or you can just like look them up on the net. It'll work either way. So basically, you make this first, and then you do a ritual, 2 different rituals. One for this, which will make light Ethereum, and one for this, which will make dark Ethereum. However, while this one needs burning, this one can always generate it infinitely, no matter what. Whereas this one, it actually needs mobs, as you've seen with the lightning. It keeps dragging out. Turn this back to normal. So let's say I want to kill a creeper. If a mob gets too close, it will suddenly get dragged by this lightning thing, and all of its energy will be sucked into here. Now you won't get any XP or drops from this either. So, and it can take up to a good amount of them at once, and pretty efficient. So, yeah, as that poor slime's gonna figure out. That's funny. Never seen that before. Anyhow, so that's that. And then also what you will need later on is this essence refiner. This thing is very important for making essences, these things. Because you will either need them to summon bosses, or also use them for this. And I have no idea why those guys are suddenly starting to spawn. Mutant creatures. Anyhow. Yeah. But anyways, this thing will always have an arcane ash in the middle, and then its components on the outside. Okay, I'm starting to think that I need to go ahead and turn this thing peaceful. Here, these slimes don't stop spawning everywhere. Sheesh. Alright, anyhow. And also, this is just for convenience mostly, but the mana battery will allow you to basically store large amounts of mana in here, all 3 types. And again, you just connect it by using the wand. Now then, actually, another one of my things is a fire beam. As I said, you can actually make beams fire. However, I highly recommend that you only use this when you are higher up. Then again, you won't actually be able to get it for a while, because this is a red type. Stupid slimes. Okay, yeah, I'm turning this back to peaceful. Else these slimes are gonna be annoying as all heck. But also, with that thing, it can actually get really costly really fast. So, if you're really gonna go for that, I recommend going for the Arcane Affinity. Because actually, when you get really deep into this, the the amount of mana that is needed to cast a spell can sometimes be put down to 0, especially when it's on a beam. If you use a beam, basically, if you are high enough, you can literally just hold it, and then you will never have to let go. It's very overpowered. Anyhow, so that's what some of these main things are. Next up is the Caliph factor. You can connect it with these things again, powered by Ethereum. You can smelt your ores, cook your food, all that stuff. And it has a chance of giving you Ventum. So if you need a Ventum and you don't want to go mining, toss some stuff in here, and you might get lucky and get some. A slipstream generator is another thing that's added by the mod. Again, powered by Ethereum. Basically, when you stand on it and it's powered, you can look up and it'll bring you up. Look down, it'll bring you down. It's basically like a magic elevator. Then, Magician's Workbench. So you can store materials and stuff in here. And then you'll have two different crafting things. But basically, this thing will actually also remember the last thing you crafted. So if you have the materials in here, then you can just instantly grab it out of here. Fairly useful if you just want a quick thing and you don't have to keep crafting it. And then the Arcane Deconstr. This is a little bit later in the game, once you got like the dark dark black autumn thing. Yeah. Because it's powered by dark Ethereum, which is only generated by the black autumn. Basically, this thing can deconstruct any item as well as any spell into its components. Really, really useful for when you need something. And then the armor imbuement table. You don't actually need any Ethereum for this. But basically, when you're wearing some armor, even though I look like it, I'm actually wearing cosmetically, so it doesn't affect me right now. But let's say you had like a full set of diamond armor on. You can actually use this, and as you see, if you hold shift, you can see infused experience armor XP level. You can find more information on this in here, in your compendium. But basically, as you level up, this thing will gain some levels. So when you have it high enough, you can get upgrades. So let's say you did all that, and now, as you can see, I can actually see some of these things that the items have. So some of these are really useful, and can really help you out on your adventures. So I highly recommend you wear one set of armor, keep it up to date, and then use this thing to enchant the heck out of it for some really cool enchants. It's also, normally Tinker's armor isn't actually enchantable. This thing allows it to be. Let's see here. Right. So one last thing that I will be going over in this showcase is the boss items. Now, there are, how many? 8? I think? 10? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 10, sorry. 10 bosses, one for each affinity. Each boss is only affected by by magic, mostly. So if you try hitting it with like your diamond sword, it's not going to do much. A Bane of Pigs will do 2 damage to one of them at most. Yeah, not good. So, I recommend you actually get high leveled, and then also the compendium will show you the rituals for how to make them. How to summon the bosses, I mean. But basically, when you defeat the boss, they have a rare chance of dropping some of these items. The water boss, your first one that you'll probably ever find, has a rare chance of dropping water orbs. Basically, it gives you water breathing. The Earth Guardian will give you earth armor, which is basically heavily armors you. Uses the chest slot, obviously. Air Guardian will give you an air sled, which when you right click, will place it on the ground, and then you can basically fly around with it. Pretty neat. and then shift right click to pick it back up. I use boots back here. Anyways, Winter's Grasp, one of my favorite things. You right click with it when you have enough mana. It'll use some of it, and then it'll drag the mob to you, and you can hit them with it, and they will freeze in place, basically stunning them. The Arcane Spellbook, a more powerful of the normal spellbook, and that the normal spellbook will, and both these basically allow you to store your spells in them. And when you shift scroll, it will allow you to scroll through the first 9. These ones. So pretty useful. Nature's Scythe. Drop from the Nature Guardian. You right click it to throw it. Really awesome. Oh, right. That's a Guardian. Winter Guardian. This is the Winter Guardian. And this is the Arcane Guardian. The Life Guardian. I recommend you are really well equipped, as well as if you are on a server, have some friends on before you use this, because this boss will basically summon other entities to fight for it. And you have to defeat those entities before you can actually even damage the normal boss. Really, really tough. Antenna of the Fire Guardian basically gives you fire resistance. And then the Ender Boots. A really interesting thing dropped from the Ender Guardian, which I highly recommend you be a high level, or at least have some very powerful spells. But anyways, when you have these on, when you shift jump, you literally go upside down. And you have to be close by a block in order to shift jump to get back down, or else easiest way to do this, look me up there, just take them off when you're close to ground. That's the best way I can figure out to get out off of. But yeah, this is not the entire mod at all. Oh, oops! Actually, I almost forgot. Some of the things that you can do with these. So these brown boxes are basically different shapes that you can make with your spells. So let's say you wanted a beam and then a binding touch. Binding basically allows you to have a it allows you to summon a item like a pickaxe or a sword, depending on what you put in it. Oh, for Pete's sake, you stupid freaking bat! Get back here. Die. Die, you stupid bat. Quit lagging me. Ugh. Sheesh. Anyhow. Back to what I was saying. So, make spell. Randomize this thing, put it on this. Okay. So, by default, the key that you hit changes. But basically, when you have these, it'll make a different shape. When you press C by default, it'll change the shape. So like this will have a beam that will dig. And this one will create a pickaxe that will dig. Pretty neat, right? And you just drop it to desummon it. Also, as a summon, it will actually drain from your mana pool. So be wary of that. Let's see, is there anything else? Actually, I might as well show you what the book looks like. Where is it? There's this book quill. So, shift right click to take that off, obviously. See, actually, I forgot. Did I? Oh, no, I didn't, actually. Silly me. I forgot about the lightning charm. This is another boss item in here. Shift right click it, and anything that's within 16 blocks, item wise, will be dragged towards you. Very useful in some cases. Anyhow, so this is what I was talking about with the book. When it's read, this thing will blow up after a little bit. But I don't have to bother with this because it also requires some essence, so I don't want to have to bother with that. But yeah, when it's like this, do not use it on this altar. Either upgrade it or reevaluate it if it's over 13, and then you can craft it. Because otherwise, as I said, it will blow up and make you lose all your items. And I guess I should go a little more into detail with this. So, as I said, these squares, you basically put them in here. And then there are diamonds, mining power. You can drag them onto here to make that specific shape have this item. Or you can drag it onto here, the grammar. That's where most of your octagons will go. Well, all your octagons will go. And basically, when the diamonds are over here, it affects all the shapes. But when it's on one of these, it will only affect that specific shape. So yeah, this was just a brief delve into what the entirety of Ars Magica is. There is a lot more to this than just what I've shown here. I just took it upon myself to show a brief tutorial over the basics of it and some of the more advanced parts. But yeah, I'd say that's about it for me today. So thank you guys for watching this. Said at the beginning, if you like it, please leave a like. Let me know in the comments if there's anything I can do to improve. And I suppose subscribe if you don't mind waiting forever for another video. But yeah, that's it for me today. And I will see you guys next time. The link to the mod will be in the description below also. So, have fun with this, guys. And yeah, see y'all.